The afternoon sun glinted off the polished glass door fronts of the Atlantic Plaza. Inside her salon, Mofe adjusted the gold rings on her fingers as she watched her staff work on 3 different clients. The air smelled of expensive perfumes and premium hairspray. Mofe was doing very well, but every time she stepped out onto the tiled walkway, her eyes drifted to Bisi's salon next door. Bisi was also busy, her shop filled with the sound of laughter and the whirring of hair dryers. To anyone else, it looks like 2 successful women thriving together. To Mofe, every customer in Bisi's chair was a personal insult. She felt that if Bisi's shop didn't exist, all that money and praise would belong to her alone. "Mofe, you look like you are miles away," Bisi said, stepping out of her shop to wave at a departing client. She smiled warmly at Mofe, her face glowing with genuine friendship. "Business is booming for both of us today, thank God." Mofe forced a tight smile, her heart twisting with a dark energy. "Yes, Bisi, we are trying," Mofe replied, though her voice was cold. She watched Bisi walk back inside to a waiting crowd of loyal customers. Mofe went back into her own office and slammed the door. She did not want to share the glory. She wanted the plaza to be hers and hers alone. She wanted people to talk only about Mofe, the queen of hair. That night, Mofe drove her white SUV through the winding streets of an old neighborhood until she reached a small, quiet house. The herbalist sat on a woven mat surrounded by jars of dried leaves and clay pots. He looked at Mofe's expensive clothes and sighed. "You have a full plate, yet you want to eat from the plate of another," he said softly. Mofe leaned forward, her eyes burning with greed. "I want every woman who enters that plaza to walk into my shop. I want the other chairs to stay empty." The herbalist handed Mofe a small pulsating object wrapped in dark cloth. It felt warm and heavy, like a beating heart. He warned her that it would swallow the luck of her rival, but it must remain buried in the earth, hidden from the eyes of men and the light of the sun. Mofe took the charm, a wicked grin spreading across her face. For months, the charm worked exactly as promised. Bisi's once crowded salon became a ghost town. Her stylists resigned one by one, and the laughter that used to ring through the hallway was replaced by a heavy, uncomfortable silence. Meanwhile, Mofe's business exploded. She hired 10 new assistants and bought a second luxury car. She would often walk past Bisi's empty shop, swinging her designer handbag and offering fake words of pity. "Oh, Bisi, maybe you should try a new location. This place just isn't working for you anymore," Mofe said with a smirk. Bisi only sighed, looking at her empty chairs with tears in her eyes, wondering how her talent had seemingly vanished overnight. The change came on a Tuesday morning when 3 heavy yellow excavators rolled into the plaza. Engineer Segun stood at the center of the walkway, unfolding a large blueprint. He announced to the gathered traders that the government was starting an emergency urban renewal project to fix the ancient blocked drainage systems buried deep beneath their feet. Mofe's heart stopped. She watched as a worker spray-painted a bright red line directly over the spot where she had buried the pulsating charm at midnight months ago. "You cannot dig here," Mofe screamed, running out of her shop. "The tiles are new. I will pay for the repairs myself. Just stay away from this section." Engineer Segun looked at her through his dark sunglasses and shook his head. "Madam, this is a government order. We are replacing the entire line. Please move back for your safety," he said firmly. Mofe tried to press a thick bundle of naira notes into his arm, but he pushed her arm away, his face hardening with suspicion. A crowd of traders, including Bisi, began to gather, whispering about Mofe's strange and frantic behavior. The excavator's metal claw roared to life, biting deep into the concrete and tearing up the earth. With a loud crack, the machine pulled up a massive chunk of soil. As the earth broke apart in the bright morning light, the black bundle was exposed. It burst open, releasing a thick, oily fluid that smelled like rotting meat and ancient graves. A physical wave of darkness seemed to exit the ground, and the supernatural stench was so strong that people covered their noses and gagged. Inside the mess lay a piece of Bisi's salon signage and a lock of hair, both tied to the pulsating charm. The market went silent. Bisi looked at the charm and Mofe's terrified face. "So this is where my life went," Bisi whispered, her voice trembling. In an instant, the spell broke. The wealthy clients inside Mofe's shop suddenly felt a wave of disgust and walked out, leaving their hair half done. The market committee chairman stepped forward, his face full of rage. "Wickedness has no place here," he declared. He ordered Mofe's shop to be sealed immediately and banned her from the plaza for life. Mofe stood paralyzed as her luxury items were tossed into the dirt. She was forced to walk out of the plaza with nothing but the clothes on her back, her feet treading over the same mud that had held her secret. By the next morning, Bisi's shop was full again, the air finally clear, and the sun shining brightly on the restored ground.